Okay, sorry about that. I'm back now. I don't know why the light went out. But okay, so now you've learned about those techniques. So now we're going to go back to, now once Anne Marie's gotten through the whitewater, right? She's gotten through all of those waves. Now she's in the lineup. And, okay, so now she's in position for watching for the right wave to go after to surf on. So she attempts to go after a wave, but then hesitates out of fear, remembering what happened to her 3 years earlier. And then the wave, the moment, passed. And she's done that several times. Several times. People have made comments about how she's done that several times. And I think there's a point in that movie where somebody actually says time and time again that she hesitates instead of going after, instead of being persistent and determined, stubbornly determined to do it. She pulls back. And so then she finally goes after a wave, and she starts out so good, and it looks like she's finally going to make it this time. She's finally going to reach her goal, right? But then she gets pummeled by this huge wave. And then she hits the reef. And the reef is this hard, like rock, coral. And I guess I did read it's like 3 feet below the surface. So it's like, it's not even that far. So when a wipeout happens, it can be painful if they hit the reef. And so, but yeah, she hits the reef. And then there's a girl watching the competition. She's on the beach, and she says, "Oh, she got so worked." And what that means is she got thrashed around by the waves, and she's, just pummeled. She's just underneath. And so what happens is, her surfboard gets caught on the reef, and so she disconnects the ankle strap so that she can, and she gets to the surface. So she ditched her board, but in this case she had to because it was stuck in the rock. If she had stayed there, she would have drowned again, or would have had a near drowning like she had before. So she makes it to the surface. She disconnects the ankle strap, and here comes another huge wave, and then back under she goes. And then she makes it to the surface again, and then another huge wave comes, and she goes back down again. And so at this time, it's just happening over and over again. She's just getting beat up by this wave, by the waves. And, she's not connected to the surfboard anymore. She has nothing to keep her above the water now, because that helps her to float, but she doesn't have that anymore. So she's just getting beat and beat and beat by the waves. And the announcer actually says, the guy that's announcing, the announcer for the competition, he says, Anne Marie is taking a heavy beating out there. And it says, okay, then the guy with the jet ski, who has this little, like, sled thing on the back, tries to go in to rescue her. And so, okay, so then he gets her on there, and then tells her to hold on, and so he takes her to shore. She's in physical pain, she's exhausted, and she's probably extremely disappointed in herself. And so now she's in the medical tent, and she's laying down, she's resting. I think she's resting on an ice pack on her neck, under her neck. And she's not sure she even wants to try again, or even if she's even physically able to try again. But she ends up going back out there. And so let's see. What's great is, so there's a pro surfer who's already finished her portion of the competition. And so she's out there, and Anne Marie's just she's out at the lineup, she's watching waves, but she's just sitting there. And she's kind of further away than she needs to be to actually catch a wave. So this professional surfer who's already done with her part comes over to Anne Marie and she says, "What are you doing?" And Anne Marie's like, "What?" And she says, "You gonna take a wave or you just gonna sit here like a buoy?" So then she leads her over to a better area to catch a wave. And she says, "I'm gonna tell you to go on a wave. And when I tell you to go, you gotta go. You gotta paddle your little heart out. You can't hesitate. You can't pull back. You can't hold back. No fear, all right? Because if you hold back for a second, you're gonna..." And she uses some choice language, but basically what she's saying is if you hold back for a second, you're gonna end up pummeled by the waves like you just did. And she says, "Come on, follow me." And they paddled out closer to where the waves are. And so for me, that parallel is God is saying, when you're just sitting there and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, God's like, "What are you doing? All right, let's come back. Let's get you back into position to go after that wave." And then he says, "I'm going to tell you to go. And when I say go, go. Don't hesitate. No more hesitating." How many scriptures are there that say, "Do not fear"? It doesn't mean that fear won't come. It means don't let fear stop you. Don't let fear hold you back from moving forward or making progress or doing that thing that you're supposed to do or that you want to do. This is her dream. She wants this more than anything else in the world. This is her greatest desire. And she's, in her mind, she's failed so many times over and over again. And here she is again, just sitting there. And so then it's just interesting that that professional surfer says, "Come on, follow me." And so the Lord is saying, "Come on, follow me. Follow me. Don't try to do it in your own strength. Don't try to do it in your own understanding. Follow me. Follow my leading." And so they go out there, they get closer, and then the professional surfer says, "This is it. This is the one. Go, paddle." And she does. And she goes after a huge wave, and she falls again. And she hits the reef hard. And she makes it to the surface. This time she's still connected to the board. So she makes it to the surface. And now, and then the guy on the jet ski comes to try to rescue her. She's like, "No, I'm okay. Actually, okay, so then, so now she has to do the duck dive, the turtle roll, the push through technique, all of that over and over again to get all the way back out into position, into the lineup. So she has to go through all of that again. She's already, failed on that wave, and now she has to go through all of that just to get back out there again. So see, perseverance. This is so much that she's gone through already, Okay, so, and it takes time and it takes effort. And the announcer actually says she's fighting to make it back into the lineup. Yet even to score a ride, she needs to redeem herself here. So she knows it. Everybody else knows it. Like she needs to redeem herself here. She's not doing too well. So then she gets back into the lineup. And she makes it back over to where the professional surfer is. And the professional surfer says, "Ouch, you all right? That was nasty." Anne Marie says, "That's okay, I want another one." And the pro says, "That's the spirit." In other words, she's not letting that stop her. She's like, I want another one. I want another wave. I'm gonna try again. I want to do this again. So then she says, "That's the spirit. Shake off that last wave and let's do this." Shake off that last wave. So spiritually, that would mean you don't have time for condemnation. No condemnation, no shame, no guilt. You have to move. You have to shake it off. Even if it's your past failures, even if it's 5 minutes ago, you have to shake it off. So in this adventure with God, we don't have time for condemnation over failures or anything. Just shake it off. Go to God, repent, receive forgiveness, try to make amends if we can. But other than that, we have to receive righteousness by faith, through faith in Jesus, and then just move on. Receive forgiveness. Believe that we have forgiveness from God. I'm sorry, I have to put the windows up again, sorry, because we're getting mosquitoes now. All right. Anyway, all right, so back to the movie. Okay. Let's see here. So now, the best wave of the entire day comes along, and they both know it. And the pro says, this is the set. This is the one. This is the one right here. Okay, go. Go, go. Paddle hard. And she does. And she finally makes it. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. And it's the best, it's the best score of the entire day. She gets a perfect score. Perfect timing. She gets a 10. The crowd cheers. The pro that was helping her cheers. And then as she's coming back on the beach, shows there's the well-known sponsor approaches her about joining the professional team. So her dream has finally come true. After all the pain, after all the failures, she is living her dream. There's great reward, great blessing. And all that she went through, it was worth it all. Everything that she went through. And as I was preparing this, even today, when I watched it, a couple weeks ago, I started crying when I was watching that final scene. But when I was watching it today again, I watched it again and I just cried. Wow. I can appreciate how hard that must have been. Everything that she went through. And then finally, her dream comes true. Finally, she's living in her dream. And so John 16:21 says, "A woman giving birth to a child has pain because her time has come. But when her baby is born, she forgets the anguish because of her joy that a child is born into the world." So carrying your dream is like a pregnant woman. It's like being pregnant. And as it comes time to give birth, the pain intensifies. And the closer you get to actually receiving the birth of that dream. So there's a lot of pain involved, but it's worth it. It's worth it. You're worth it. He is worth it. The Lord is worth it. And you won't even, you'll disregard all of the pain that you went through when you're finally receiving the dream. Okay, so now I'm going to read some more scriptures for you. So we've got Hebrews chapter 10, verse 35 and 36. Verse 35 says, "Do not throw away this confident trust in the Lord. Remember the great reward it brings you. Patient endurance is what you need now, so that you will continue to do God's will. Then you will receive all that He has promised." Then you will receive all that He has promised. So, don't throw away this confident trust in the Lord. Just keep trusting God. Okay, so then Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 and 3 says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, every sin, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with endurance the race God has set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Because of the joy awaiting Him, He endured the cross, disregarding its shame, and now He is seated in the place of honor beside God's throne." Think of all the hostility he endured from sinful people. Then you won't become weary and give up. Isn't that great? I give you verse 3 too. Sorry. Okay. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry that I gave you more scriptures. Not at all. Okay. Now Isaiah 43, verse 1 and 2. Okay. Isaiah 43, verse 1 and 2. But now, O Jacob, listen to the Lord who created you. O Israel, the one who formed you says, do not be afraid, for I have ransomed you. I have called you by name, you are mine. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you. And I had a vision a couple weeks ago, and this was also as I was waking up. I saw a door opening very slowly in front of me, just opening very slowly. And then when it was almost all the way open, not quite, but almost all the way open, then the door was just like really suddenly and quickly and forcefully removed from the hinges, just right in front of me. Like I didn't see hands or anything moving the door or anything. It was just the door just came off the hinges and was removed, and I didn't even see the door anymore. I just saw the doorway. And then, of course, that took me to Revelation. Hold on, let me get that pulled up for. Okay, so Revelation chapter 3, verse 7 to 13 is what that reminded me of. And I believe it's timely. I believe that is applying to God's people right now. So verse 7 says, write this letter to the angel of the church in Philadelphia. This is the message from the one who is holy and true, the one who has the key of David. What he opens, no one can close, and what he closes, no one can open. I know all the things you do, and I have opened a door for you that no one can close. You have little strength, yet you obeyed my word and did not deny me. Look, I will force those who belong to Satan's synagogue, those liars who say they are Jews but are not, to come and bow down at your feet. They will acknowledge that you are the ones I love. Because you have obeyed, this is verse 10, because you have obeyed my command to persevere, there's that word. Because you have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world. Verse 11, I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have, so that no one will take away your crown. All who are victorious will become pillars in the temple of my God, and they will never have to leave it. And I will write on them the name of my God, and they will be citizens in the city of my God, the new Jerusalem that comes down from heaven from my God. And I will also write on them my new name. Anyone with ears to hear must listen to the Spirit and understand what he is saying to the churches. So the door has been removed. In other words, this door has been opened. When God has opened the door, there is no one and nothing that can close that door. No one and nothing. Now the door is open. All we have to do is walk through it. And we walk through it together with the Lord. Adventure! Let's do this.